Good afternoon and welcome back to Q News. My name is Michael James and it is another week and another elimination on RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under. Now, sadly, we had to see another queen go, and this week our second queen to sashay away was Aubrey Haive. Good afternoon,
No.
Aubrey.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I am fantastic. Probably feeling better than you at this point.
Yeah, look, it's rough. It's rough, but it's okay. Someone's got to go. I'm happy to take one for the team.
And you've had plenty of time, I suppose, to reflect on it now because it's been months since filming is wrapped.
Honestly, the time in between is the torture. I just want it to be done because we don't know what's going to show, what's going to come up. So, it's one of those times where you just got to remind yourself that, whatever happens, happens and doesn't matter and, all that fun stuff.
Absolutely. And you all got your chance to make your mark and have your time on the show and got to be seen. That's the most important thing.
Absolutely. I'm very lucky to have even gotten on. So I'm stoked.
Were you approached to do the first season?
No, I didn't even do drag then. I hadn't started drag.
Baby drag.
Yeah. So no, they wouldn't have thought of me because I didn't exist. Bugger.
Well, and that's even more so to be able to get on the show after you only just started. That is an incredible achievement that you can definitely take with you.
Yeah, look, I'm definitely riding that one for a while I've got it. And then eventually I'll just be another washed up old, hag. But that's okay.
Well, look, let's get straight into the drama of this week's episode. And you were front and center of it as soon as we kicked off. So you and Minnie Cooper, was it as much of a big deal as we were seeing?
Look, not really, I don't think. The thing with the show is it's a pressure cooker environment and everyone is high tension, high stress. And I think that her comment, just because I was like, in my feels and I just wanted to, feel good about the efforts that I put into it. And then she, had her little comment. I was a bit like, I don't think we needed that. And I hadn't said anything about hers. I didn't do any shady stuff to her. Although it looks like I might have, I didn't. All I said to her is that she was retro, not vintage, which is a compliment because retro is younger than vintage. Anyway, that doesn't read. But yeah, no, I think I just, it wasn't that big of a deal. And once we talked it out, which was great to do, we just both realized that we were both acting out because we I just really stressed out in that moment. And actually, if it was any other time and we said it in a dressing room, I probably would have laughed and just been like, yeah, you're right. Maybe I need to, can you pass me a safety pin? I'll pin her in. Yeah.
Do you think when it comes to Minnie that there is, I suppose, a lot of pressure early on in the first and second episode with the undertones of the ageism and that the divide that seems to be there? Do you think for her that is really amplifying her state of mind in terms of everything that she was feeling and seeing in that time?
Yeah, I think so. Because from my memory, we didn't actually do or say that much that was, referring to her age in a negative way. So I think that perhaps she had sort of a bit of baggage from that of feeling like everyone thinks that she's old and can't do anything and sort of put that onto us. Because the only thing I ever thought of Minnie is that she's fucking incredible. And from the minute she walks in the room, she was like on fire. She had all these jokes and I was just in awe. So the moments when we talked about age, I feel it was I'm glad it's on the show because it's something that is important to talk about. But the actual moments between us, I feel like we were just really just talking about the fact that, we were the youngest and they were the oldest. There wasn't anything like that makes you worse or better or anything. I think we were just, it's just something to talk about because it is, it's interesting. She's been doing it for way longer than I have. And, just talking about experience and stuff. But I had a lot to learn from her. So I was, if anything, more wanting to just pick her brain to be like, how are you this amazing queen? How did you get to where you are? I'm so new. I have so much to learn. So I do think though that the ageism topic is something that we do need to talk about, which is great, because it does happen, unfortunately. Yeah, and I'm happy to be the catalyst for that. If it makes good TV, that's fine.
I think you're right. It's a pressure cooker situation where everything is just really, really heated. Now, we move on to the mini challenge to kick off, and you didn't get a sash. Were you expecting you would get a sash?
To be honest, no. And I'm glad I'm happy to get no sash rather than one of the bad ones. So I'm fine.
Now, Maxi challenge. I have to say, 2 Maxi challenges in a row were a bit of a veritable shit show. I really think you all got a little bit screwed on the first one with the stuff that you were given to work with. I mean, come on, what did you think of that?
Yeah. When I was looking at that stuff when it came in, I just was like, what is this? There was nothing we could properly work with. And I was just like, yeah, that's why all the girls glued stuff to a corset. I don't blame them. Like, I only managed to find that mat under something and then cut it up and tried to sew it, and it like broke so many needles. I was like, to be honest, probably would have been better off just gluing something to a corset in there at the end of the day. But like, yeah, the stuff that we had was such a freaking challenge to work with. But that's Drag Race, and that's what makes it fun. And you know, some of those looks were fucking hilarious, and I love that.
And then you kick up to the next Maxi challenge, and it's almost like an in-joke with the show now how bad these acting challenges are. You've got to try to do it. Like, what was that?
I mean, yeah, look, I haven't even seen the final edit yet. So your judgment, I'm trusting you on this one. I remember in the moment, look, I mean, the scripts for these things are never always the best, without being too shady. So
I'll tell you, they're not the best. They are
not. No, thank you. I'm glad you agree. So you're sort of working with a bit of nothing. You're trying, for lack of a better term, as Hannah would say, I hope you can polish a turd. And we were working really hard to polish a turd. But you know, it's yeah, it is what it is. And also, you know, the environment that you're in at that time is so stressful that like you just sometimes it's like it's too much. You can't, you freak out and your brain goes somewhere else, and you know, it's really hard. But I mean, I was confident going into it because I acting is my thing. I studied it for way too long, without any actual accolades to prove any worth. But that's okay. We're on Drag Race now. So I was like excited for it. But then, yeah, I think it just sort of the script and stuff just sort of was hard to work with. I was doing my best to add in little funny moments that I could. Most of the stuff that I did that was, you know, entertaining wasn't in the script. It was, you know, we had to add it on.
That's some of the best moments are. And I suppose to be successful in an acting challenge, you've got to have people that you know, and, you know, like, I suppose a supportive family environment. And these, you've got, you know, your drag family there, but you've known these people for what, days?
Oh yeah, literally.
You've got to put your acting fate in their hands.
Absolutely. And those other girls had worked together for much longer before, so they sort of knew each other. So I was sort of the lone wolf, like being like, hi, how can I help? But yeah, no, they were really fun to work with though. Those girls are fucking like, they're crazy, like in the best way. They're so so silly.
They are. It was fun regardless. Now,
yeah.
The hard question, do you really think that you pulled off a performance that should have landed you in the bottom 2?
Absolutely not.
No.
And I'm saying that even having, like, I know what I actually did in the room, and so do the other queens. And some of the stuff I did didn't make it, as far as I know. So I, like, because I was so surprised. I was asking the other girls and I was like, did I do bad? Like, what happened? And they were like, no, you were really, really good. And so we were all just a bit confused. So, I mean, you know, if it makes good TV, because we're all angry now, aren't we? We're rioting. Justice for Aubrey. That's all I want, you know?
You can hear him chanting it in the streets.
Yeah.
So, okay, here's the tea. Who, if not you?
Yeah, I've been getting this question every time, and
I know. Who would ask
I
that
keep
question?
tiptoeing around it because I came across so shady on camera, and I'm really not like that, I don't think.
Well, all tea, no shade, not being
Okay.
bitchy, no egos, everything aside. If it wasn't you, who's somebody that you just think maybe didn't hit the mark? It doesn't mean that you think they're a shit person.
Yeah, I mean, this is the other thing. I haven't really seen all of it, so I don't even know what happened. From my instincts, I mean, it was hard because Yuri and I were in the bottom, and Yuri's look was really fucking good, but I know that her performance wasn't as good. So it was, but then I had my malfunction, so it was sort of like where do you go with it? But then I do think there were some other girls that weren't even in the bottom that didn't do as good in the acting challenge. Maybe they sold it better on the runway and I haven't seen that yet. But yeah, that I don't want to be too shady.
All right. I mean, I think you make a valid point. Do you think maybe you just screwed it on the runway and that's kind of what landed you
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I get a magnifying glass up to find anything else I did bad. I think it was literally just that runway that put me in the bottom.
Now,
Which is
I'm curious. When we saw
yeah.
you on the runway there with the purse
Yeah.
and the purse opening and everything dropping there, I thought that was
Yeah.
deliberate, but from the
Oh,
judges'
it
comments,
was.
oh, it was okay, right.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
judges'
yeah.
comments made me think that it wasn't deliberate, and I was like, oh no, she did that on purpose.
Yeah, no, I had that all set up. I made the bag perfectly so that when it opened, they would fall out. Like all of that was meant to happen. The only thing was the wings was the issue. But yeah, everything else was all meant to happen. So yeah, it's up for interpretation in terms of the editing. So yeah, but no, thank you for bringing that up. No one's mentioned that yet. So the bag thing was definitely because the things that fall out are meant to be hoo-hoo grubs, which is sort of a in New Zealand, we sort of grow up with in the pine trees, they're all hoo-hoo grubs and things, and people eat them and stuff. And I was always too grossed out to eat them. So it was sort of my play on I'm facing my fears. I'm going to eat the hoo-hoo grub. And now I am the hoo-hoo grub. It's just it was too much. But you know what? It works in my brain, and that's all that matters.
It was a narrative, and you saw it, and you executed it. And
Yeah. Next time I'll practice the reveal.
Now, how much were you shitting your pants when you were lip syncing up against Queen Kong?
Yeah, the pants were full. They were very loaded with shit. I just I know how good Queen Kong is, and so it was one of those things. But I also know that I performing is what I do as well. I don't do flips and trips and dips and all that, but I like to sell the theatricalness of the song or whatever. So it really depended on what the judges wanted from that song in the moment. And yeah, I mean, if I was going to lose to anyone, it would only be her, because I think I could lip sync the house down boots for anyone else. So
yeah, it was interesting, is exactly as you said. I think hers was much more dance flips and tricks, which were very impressive, and she was great. And you really went for the performative thing. You were doing the acting thing more so, and those put two very different spins on the final lip sync. And I actually didn't know who I was going to be sitting down and talking to today. I didn't find out till very, very close, because when I see the preview, it was just like the premiere. They cut out, so I see you get to the end of the lip sync, and I sit here and I'm like, who am I going to interview today? I don't know which one it was. And sometimes I'm pretty sure I had no clue. So you both did a great job.
Well, thank you. That means a lot. That's really sweet.
Well, it was a pleasure seeing you on the show, and hopefully we're going to see much more from you. So we know that you're going to be on tour. It's a season 1 and 2 tour combined soon. Is that right?
Yeah. It's a big show. Lots of queens. It's going to be a long damn show. Buckle up.
So you'll be touring the country with that. You've got your you said Drag Expo. You're about to go, be there when people are watching this. Have you got anything else in your pocket for the future?
So I'm writing some songs, some music, because that's sort of where my performing journey all started in the first place. And I love to sing and play guitar and stuff. So I'm trying to find this niche sort of more like poppy, acoustic, easy listening drag music, which I don't think many people do. The only person I can kind of think of is Trixie. So it's sort of in that world, but less country, more pop. And I'm just gonna try smash into that niche and see if anything sticks, because that's really where my heart lies. I love performing and singing and all that sort of stuff. So I'm very excited to record some music for you all.
Beautiful. We can't wait to hear it. One last thing I did want to know was my favorite thing about any season's Drag Race is, of course, Snatch Game. I would love to know, who were we going to see you do?
So I was going to reprise Catherine O'Hara and do Moira, but do it properly this time. It was going to be very good. But you will see, I'm doing a brand deal with Aubrey Liqueurs, which is a local Melbourne liqueur company, and we're doing like a piss take of the hi, I'm Moira Rose, and if you love fruit wine as much as I do, so we're doing that, but with Aubrey Liqueurs. So keep your eyes out. You'll be able to see my Moira Rose out there on the webs.
I love that. I was going to ask you to do an impersonation, but you made my day.
I did it. Yeah, you don't even have to ask. Honestly, I'll do it. Sometimes I tap into it by accident, just like in my day-to-day life. And I'm like, oh, Moira just popped out for a second. But I love her. She's crazy.
She is just wonderful. It would have been a pleasure to see you do that on the show. But you know what? I'm still banking my money on somebody doing an Art Simone on this season. So could be you.
That would be so fun, but we'll have to wait and see.
I know. You could be a brilliant actress like you say you are, and you could be fooling us the whole time. We never know.
And you know, I would be doing that.
Well, Art Simone pulled off the best acting of the season with her interviews last time. So
I know, she was good. I just saw her at the expo. She's killing it. Her booth looks amazing.
Oh yeah, she does good. I saw her LA booth and that was amazing. So
yeah, just as good. She knows how to do it. She's a clever gal.
Yes, indeed. All right, Aubrey Haive, I'm going to let you go because you're going to go and get ready to set up your booth and get kicking, get your songs writing, and
I do
set the world on fire.
Maze. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Aubrey. It's been an absolute pleasure. As always, my name is Michael James, and you are watching Q News. Be sure to click all of the little buttons down below, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and stick around to see our next eliminated queen from RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under next week. I will see you later.
Bye.